Hello and welcome to a brand new installment of the Nintendo News Report for Friday, January 18th, 2018. I'm your host, Donald Terriel. And if you're wondering where the rest of the regular crew are, Zach and Justin are both out with illness, and Neil is currently trying to dodge a whole bunch of illnesses down at PAX South. He's got to look out for that PAX box, especially to protect young Niles.
Yes.
So I am joined tonight by our West Coast correspondent, Brian Rose. Brian, thank you for coming out.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah. And off the top here, we'll mention that we are 8 days removed from the 9th NWR Live Telethon for Child's Play. So we would really love to get some more donations, especially since we're looking to get the fund as much matched as possible ahead of next Tuesday. So you can go over to NintendoWorldReport.com, click the link right on the homepage. It's the biggest picture you see there, and do it for the kids. Because right as of press time, I believe we had $495 of a $4,000 goal. I would love that. I would love for that to get to 4,000, and I would love for an excuse to use those Eshop cards, even if it is Devil's Third.
Yeah.
So Brian and I will both be running segments that night, and we'll also be I'll be in the chat room most of the day, but I might have to tap out after shenanigans. We'll see.
If you want to hear about Pokemon GameCube games, I mean, this is going to be the telethon, at least for 1 hour.
Let's see. We got Pokemon GameCube games, Tales of Game Development Hell,
Yeah.
Can I say Kaizo Jeopardy?
Yeah, I've heard.
I've heard some things about that, and yeah,
I've heard it's Kaizo level.
Kaizo level radio trivia, and we try to rank the biggest news making games of 2018. That'll be a hoot.
Oh yeah.
And hey, also Dino Chat, because we got to have our Dino Chat. All right, but off the top here, just to give an update, I'm still playing through Tales of Vesperia. If you'd like to hear me talk more about Tales of Vesperia, you can check out the Thirsty Mage here on this YouTube channel or in iTunes. Was on that show this week and talked more about that with David, and the most Canadian podcast we've ever produced. I think we just needed Guillaume for a complete forward line there, and yeah, still working my way through that. I hope to have the review up early next week. But the other thing I've been playing, and it's mainly what Brian's been playing as well, is the new NES lineup for Switch Online this month. I booted into Ninja Gaiden SP. Ooh, because it put me right at the boss. It put me right at the end of 6-3. You walk into 6-4, you do the cinematic, you fight the final boss. I didn't get a single health bar off him. I died, and I got put all the way back to 6-1.
And that was like the same exact thing that happened to me. I joined SP and I thought, oh well, maybe it'll just give me like a bunch of new items and stuff that I can just go through the game easily. And it's like, no, it puts you like right there at the final boss, and I get a bunch of spoilers. I'm like, wow, okay, that's a big reveal. And then I fight the boss and I die like instantly. Oh, that's my Ninja Gaiden experience.
Yeah, and then because I had heard on like various episodes of Retronauts and other retro podcasts talking about Ninja Gaiden that they will kick you back to 6-1. I did not realize that they meant every time you die.
Wow. That game's not playing.
No, it's not.
It's not playing.
And the sad thing is, it's actually the more generous of the two special save games we got this month, because the other one's Ghosts and Goblins, which
I didn't even bother. Even bother.
Yeah, because it starts you at the final boss with the best weapon. That's all well and good, but you still got to play through Ghosts and Goblins again after, because you have to get the best ending.
Yeah, so it puts you at the end for the first time, then you have to go all the way back and fight the second time.
Yeah, you have to play through the entire game again.
Oh God, yeah,
no. Yeah, that given the lack of quality of that Ghosts and Goblins port on NES, considering who developed it, it's not a good thing. Yeah. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
I played for like 5 minutes and I died instantly. So
yeah,
much like Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah. Like that seems to be the theme with this month, because I mean, because you dipped into a little Zelda too as well.
Yes.
As I talked about on the show last week, my Zelda 2 debt is officially paid in full because I beat that game on 3DS. But
Wow.
you went for it, huh?
I played for like 5 minutes, and it's just weird. It feels like a platformer more. I mean, the first Zelda was a platformer, or more of an action game. I think that's the best way to describe it. This feels like more like a side-scrolling platformer, and it's kind of just weird. It's not like any of the other Zelda games, like before or after, and it's, I don't know. I didn't get into it. I at least played a little bit more of the first Zelda. And I'm not even like a big Zelda fan to begin with. I mean, I like playing the games. I beat Ocarina of Time, but I'm just not like into it like other people are. And so I played Zelda 2, and it's weird. That's my only take on it. Just weird.
Yeah, it's of that era where they figured, oh, the sequel has to do something really radical to be different enough from the first
Yeah,
game to justify it. So you take this top-down action game and you turn it into a side-scrolling action RPG, which I mean, those were popular at the time, but not enough to, switch the whole focus of a franchise on it.
yeah, that's way too radical of a shift. Now that I think about it, it's kind of like the Castlevania games, right? Would that be a good comparison or no?
Well, I mean Castlevania 2, it was more of a like it had more of a connected world that you were working way
Yeah,
through instead of just doing it stage by stage. But yeah, in the end, the things they did with the ending of that game were kind of weird.
yeah.
Like I think the ending of Castlevania 2 is determined by how many times you die or how many
Hmm.
in-game days it takes actually for you to do it. So you wait too long, yeah, Dracula comes back, you lose.
I appreciate the experimentation, but that just feels really weird, like an execution.
Yeah.
Maybe it's nice to try, but then you learn from your mistakes and you just streamline it.
Yeah. Riza in the chat on YouTube saying the Zelda 2, the original Dark Souls. You come to think of it, I'm not a fan of Dark Souls either. So
I haven't even touched Dark Souls because I don't want to play hard games. I've accepted that. I'm not like a masochist. I'm not going to play Dark Souls.
I played Dark Souls under the ideal circumstances for playing Dark Souls back in the day. It was on 360 and there was no gold account, so I couldn't get ganked in the middle of everything. But no, I'm yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'm not one for the like I play games because I want to feel like a badass, not get my ass kicked every
Yeah,
day of the week and twice on Sunday.
exactly. That's exactly how I am. I mean, some people out there really like having their butts kicked constantly, and it's like a trial and error process and all that. But I mean, that's not for me. I just like to go in there and hack and slash, and then get things done. I don't like having to try over and over and over and over.
Yeah. So did you get very far in Blaster Master, the last of the NES games, the only one we haven't mentioned yet?
Not really. Maybe halfway through the first stage. Just the whatever from what I play, the controls are just kind of weird. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but I try to get into it, and um, I just didn't get into it. I played a little bit more of Blaster Master Zero, which I think came out for the Switch very
Yeah.
early. And I like that a little bit more. I think it feels more modern. Uh,
Well, yeah,
I
it's
mean,
like
of course it is,
yeah, it's a
but
shot for
yeah,
shot remake.
yeah. I don't know. I just like that a little bit more. I don't know why. I'm
Yeah.
like that.
I got zero, I think like the third week after I got my Switch. So I've got that to give me that Blaster Master urge. So we'll see. Yeah. I want to believe that data mined lineup for the Super NES things that's apparent that was allegedly on the Switch is
Yeah.
real, but I've seen evidence that at least one of the major rumors this week, I'm not sure if it's the Super Nintendo stuff or the Link and Mario Tennis stuff, was completely made up. So
Yeah.
uh,
That's very much possible. I
like
can see Super Nintendo games coming, but I don't know if it's gonna be anytime soon.
yeah, and I don't think that Stunt Race FX is going to be the pro wrestling of the SNES online lineup.
Yeah, maybe we never know. We never knew that Star Fox 2 was actually gonna be like released in full.
Yeah,
You never know.
but I mean that game was done.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, the same reason that we got Earthbound
Yeah,
Beginnings.
Earthbound Beginnings. Yeah,
So why?
it's true.
Yeah. The one thing I want them to do and the one thing they'll never do is GBA when it goes live, one of the games is Mother 3 translated,
Uh,
but given some of the
that,
content in that game and the fact that it seemed to be getting a push until Mr. Iwata passed away,
yeah,
probably not.
that ship has probably sailed. So I mean, for me, the goal always was to wait until until it got released here in North America, and the chances of that are probably like zero now. So I'm probably going to have to end up not buying, getting that translation of the game. Yeah, the Starman.net I think did it.
Starman.net and Clyde Mandelson, who's done
Yes.
some great translation work in the past, was the lead on that. And I don't know, and I don't know if Fangamer still sells it or not, but they actually did a strategy guide for the Mother 3 translation.
Oh, okay.
And I bought that.
I should probably get that. Look, I am not going to lie. I like getting strategy guides and walkthroughs and just going through a game
Yeah.
based on my time schedule. I mean, some people like to not do that, but somebody who readily admits to doing that. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'd be down to get that.
And Gamer Mother 3 guide. And the Mother 3 handbook in stock, $32 US.
32? Okay.
Yeah. 100. Yeah, it's a 272. Ooh, that's the hardcover version.
Oh, okay. I can see why. Probably
Yeah.
like nice glossy color images and all that.
Yeah. It-
Yeah, I can see why.
yeah, I think there's a soft cover version might be less expensive.
Yeah.
All right. But speaking of older games here, one of the bigger stories of the week as far as Nintendo goes, they NOA announced a new bunch of Nintendo Selects here, and some of these are really new, and some of them are this was on Selects in Europe 4 years ago. So joining the discount lineup 2 weeks from today are Super Mario Maker for 3DS, which I believe came out 2016.
Yeah, I want to say yeah around that time.
Yeah, and I think might have been selects already in Europe. The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 3D, which that's a good version of that game, and good to see that one. And Star Fox 64 3D.
Oh, that's digging deep. That's
That
been out for a while.
yeah, that game came out on the 11th of September 2011.
Oh, wow.
So that's how old we're talking here, and it's just now getting its first price drop.
Wow. Now that kind of paints the picture of how long the 3DS has been out too, huh?
Yeah,
That's like close to a launch title. Did it
that
come out? The 3DS come out in 2011.
yeah, it came out and it came out in North America in March, so that's like 6 months after system launch.
Yeah, that's very early to the game system's life.
And it has local video chat
I
because
didn't
there's no
realize
online
that.
multiplayer.
Oh wow.
So like at this point though, shouldn't like pretty much every pre like 2015 Nintendo game be a Nintendo Selects on 3DS?
It should. I don't know why Nintendo's so adverse to like not doing price drops.
Like I see the argument, like looking at the stuff on the eShop, like seeing games on there for a penny. I can
Yeah.
see why I can see the argument about maintaining a game's value, but like I'm sure at this point things like Fire Emblem Awakening has shifted enough copies that they've made more than their money back on that game,
Yes.
and they can still crank out more sales of the DLC in that game, which is belligerent and numerous.
Yeah. Yeah.
The fact that that is not a selects game yet honestly baffles me.
There's still so many games that aren't selects. It's kind of crazy. They don't do the price drops too often, do they? When was the last time they add more games to select?
I think they usually there's usually added in bunches like one a year,
Okay.
but the last one was like I think just after Switch launch. Hang on, let me see here. Nintendo Selects 2018. Should probably have had that to hand, honestly, but Nintendo Selects, yeah. Okay, so for the record, Mario Maker went on Selects in Europe in 2018, so last year.
Okay.
And 3DS, 64 handheld 3DS. There we go. Yeah. So actually, it looks like the last one or the last group, yeah, it was February 3rd, 2018.
Yeah. So
And that was 3D Land, Ultimate NES Remix, and Link Between Worlds.
that's a pretty good list.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd get any of those of the new titles though. Actually, I want to get Majora's Mask. That's always one I meant to play, and I never really have more than 10 minutes.
Yeah, I have all these. I own Star Fox 64 3D digitally.
I've had it for a while.
Yeah, and actually I've got all three of these digitally, so it doesn't really do much for me now.
Yeah.
But they've been somewhat cheaper because at least for Mario Maker and Majora, I use like my Nintendo discounts to get the price
Yeah.
down a bit. So, and up here they go from, instead of being $50, they're 30, as opposed to being like there's $20 off here as well as in the States, but you guys get them for $20 at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Awakening is a Nintendo Select, I've learned, in Japan as of
Oh,
2016. So yeah, and Lemonade asking, is Pilotwings Resort a Nintendo Selects title in the American eShop? It is not. In fact, I don't believe it is a. It is not a Select anywhere.
hmm.
And Steel,
I guess
and
I forgot about it. I don't know.
the other 3DS launch title, Steel Diver, isn't even available digitally.
Really?
Yeah,
Huh.
although they do have the free to start version, Sub Wars. So I suppose that could be part of it. Cherry Goblin wants Kid Icarus Uprising. I do too. I have my Switch stand, so I could probably play that somewhat comfortably now. But again, I already have that digitally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a 200 gig card in my 3DS, so
Wow.
if it came out, I probably have it digitally.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah,
I forget how big mine is. I think mine's around 64,
yeah,
maybe 128 at the most.
yeah. I should probably. Yeah, and it should. And you're right, Lemonade. It should be a selects, and again, why it's not is just beyond me.
That is weird, but we're talking about Pilotwings, right? Because
Pilot Wings Resort, yeah.
hmm,
I think they want to put. I don't know if they want to put Woohoo Island out of sight, out of mind, except for Smash Brothers.
yeah.
Yeah, but in other 3DS news, one of the worst kept secrets in handheld gaming got officially splashed out by the Australian ratings board this week. Persona Q2 got a rating in English. It's happening.
Yes, it is. Now, what? So Persona Q, is that like a dungeon kind of game, a
It is.
dungeon crawler?
It is. It is. Yeah, it's a dungeon crawler. It is literally Etrian Odyssey with a Persona
Oh,
characters
okay.
in
I
a non-canonical side story.
Yeah. I think this one features 3, 4, and 5 characters, right?
Yeah, including the female main character of 3, and of course noted Smash Brothers DLC Joker.
Joker, yeah. I love Persona 4 and 5, so this will be something I'll be picking up.
Yeah, I'll be picking this up too. I like Persona. The original Persona Q was one of my favorite games of 2014, and considering that was the Smash year, that says
Oh,
quite a lot.
yeah. Yeah, I should borrow that. I think my brother has actually. I'm gonna borrow it from him. Um, yeah, that sounds really exciting. I like one of the last big Switch release, I mean 3DS releases, right?
I
Is there
think
anything else?
if depending on when it comes out, it might just be the last big 3DS release.
Mm.
Which, hey, Atlas has been the last one out the door before the. Although I think because I was thinking of Persona 4 specifically because that came out on PS2 in 2008.
Oh, that's deep in there.
That's deep. And then, I think they got sniped on that one by a localization of Sakura Wars in 2010, which
Yeah,
also came out on Wii.
I think the very last PS2 game was like some soccer game.
It
Came out.
was it was I think FIFA 14, and it came out in 2013.
Yeah, that might be it.
Yeah,
It's pretty recent.
yeah, and hell, Atlas was I think the last big PS3 game was Persona 5. So,
That's true. That's true.
uh, and well, probably the last big Vita games, honestly, are probably going to be the Persona 3 and 5 dancing games. So,
Those
yeah,
did get Vita release. I didn't know that.
those did get a Vita release, although not a physical one,
Oh,
because
yeah,
I don't think Sony makes Vita carts anymore.
yeah. They're over it.
They were over it in 2013.
Probably. I would say that. Once they realize, I think what the Vita is the memory cards. The prices for that are just insane, and they did not get with the times. Uh, yeah, it's kind of sad actually.
And a wild Don Koopman has appeared. Hello,
Oh,
Don.
Hello.
hey Don.
Sorry for the late wake up call there.
Thank you for the internet maintenance server provider.
Oh, jeez.
Hello. I was
Hello.
originally meant to be here, but then my service provider was like, nope, not tonight.
Oh,
Normally 5 a.m. maintenance doesn't catch out people, but it got you here.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Don, anything in particular you've been playing as of late? Because we missed that part of the show for you.
That's fine. Let's see. I played today, so I need to tilt up this. This is a Japanese Wii U.
oh,
Wait, what?
I've been playing a lot of Panel de Pon on this Japanese Wii U.
oh, nice.
Oh, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Basically, the Japanese Wii U has become my Panel de Pon machine.
Oh,
Because usually it would have been my
I like
Puyo
that.
Puyo Tetris machine. Well, that's now out in everywhere. This used to be my Taiko Drum Master machine. Well, that's now out everywhere. So basically, the sole purpose of this Japanese Wii U has become to play Panel de Pon.
I kind of surprisingly don't have that on the Super Famicom Classic, honestly.
I don't have a Super Famicom Classic.
No.
So I was like, I already have it on this, so why do I need another one? Basically, I use this now for that and Fire Emblem Virtual Console games.
Oh, right, because they'd have like New Mystery and Genealogy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they ever get around to Thracia?
I think is Fresh on there. I'm not entirely sure, to be completely frank with you. But yeah, that was I actually did a stream like a couple of hours ago, just playing through the line clear mode in Pound the Pond. And man, it gets hard because it starts you obviously at speed 1 and it ends about at speed 51.
Oh.
Like the round 6, though, the last 5 levels, including the final boss, are no joke. They
Oh,
are
it gets
no
real.
joke. But I did it. I raced on 6.5 for about 20 minutes. And then I was done with the final boss in like 3 tries.
Oh,
Well, at least you
and
didn't give up.
yeah. And actually, yeah, Thracia did come out on Wii U, July 10th, 2013.
Nice.
Huh.
So
Oh.
yeah, you can get a 1999 Super Famicom game if you have a Japanese Wii U.
Yeah. Only if I have a Japanese Wii U. Didn't know it came out on new 3DS, to be honest.
Yeah, it did. I think it did actually.
Okay.
I got the list pulled up here. Oh no, oh no. The only ones they put on were the NES ones and Sacred Stones, which was the Ambassador game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I basically pulled out of the broom closet solely to play one old video game that came out in 1995. Thanks, Wii U.
See, it's not a brick. It's still good. Although I'm kind of disappointed you didn't pull out the European Wii U for El Silla Arcade Edition, which, if I'm reading this trailer right, is literally a reenactment of a scene from season 8 of The Simpsons.
Now I want to try that. Thank you.
It is because you have a character sitting in the bathtub and another one about to hit that first character with a chair.
Okay, yeah.
I see.
It's a pretty standard stunt, I understand.
You're tempting me. You're very much tempting me.
It's €1. I have to admit, I am like, I don't know why we are still getting Wii U games in the year of our RCS 2019, but
Hey,
if
the last
they're
time I was on, we said that Fight of Gods would never come out of Europe and North America. Guess what now happened?
we have Fight of Gods now. Yes, so we can all go to hell instead of just Japanese players.
So everything is possible.
Yeah.
So outside of that, I just played a bunch of eShop games. Why wouldn't otherwise? Well, I did play Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes.
Oh, okay.
Not all the way through like other reviewers did, because I wasn't on any reviews. I played through the first 3 chapters, basically. And I'm really torn about it because the first game is the one we basically have seen in every demo ever, like at Gamescom and PAX, and for example, one behind the back where you slice enemies to bits, which is fine. But then the second game is very much a low point throughout that game, where it's basically completely overhead, and you have to touch specific panels in levels to basically create paths. It's basically a bit like Pipe Dream, but when the players actually run around in the pipes they are creating. It's really obtuse, especially since you still have to do combat and everything. And when you reach the end of a castle, a mansion, and then you have to do a little arena, and you have to do the same stuff over again 9 times.
Wow.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I wanted them. I know they were going for we're paying tribute to indie games, so they really have to pay tribute to like the most repetitive indie puzzle platformer ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the third game is from a side-scrolling perspective. Well, not really completely side-scrolling. It's more 2.5D, where you do all the combat in a 2.5D setting, which I don't think works exactly well because you can't really roll out of the way of attacks. So the defense mechanics are sort of bad in that specific way. Outside of that, it's very much a Resident Evil parody, where you try to collect items basically to survive, but the items you collect are coffee and donuts. And the game's called Coffee and Donuts.
Well, that makes sense.
At least it's honest.
Yeah, to the point.
And I feel sort of indifferent about that. So honestly, I'm not saying that I have the worst time. It's just not really like I'd like when games are different, and it's not that I hate it because for the sake of it being different. Um, I just don't think that anything it does so far is really pulling me in.
Yeah, fair enough. I've never actually played a No More Heroes game myself. Kind of like the concept of hey, Suda51's paying tribute to indie games. It sounds cool, but I don't know. I I think I'm gonna have to hunker down and read some reviews on it before I jump into it.
I would be
Yeah.
the same way. It has a cool vibe to it. I like the look,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know if I would like play it and like get into it when I have like 10,000 other games to play.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe someday, but not right now, is what I would say.
That's fair. That's completely fair.
I still want to play New Super Mario U. I know I
You-
shouldn't, but
Why would you want to? It's
it
the same game.
I never beat the original version of Mario U. Like I've beaten all the other New Super Mario games, but that's the one I'm missing. And
Mhm.
also I paid $15 for that game 6 months after it came out.
I
Thanks to
see.
so I don't know, maybe I feel a bit guilty about it.
I don't know if you should feel guilty about that, but fair
Yeah.
enough.
I would like to get it because it's on a new system and it has all the stuff that I ignored like after the vanilla version came out.
Hmm.
So I would give it a try. I like Mario games there, especially the new version of the 2D platformers are just really good. Great
Yeah.
level design.
I remember in the
Oh,
vanilla version 1.1, which I had to review, there was no support for a Pro controller.
oh,
That kind of
that's not
defeats the
fun.
purpose.
Yeah, that's not fun.
And then 2 versions later on Wii U, which was about a month, then they released Pro controller support. So luckily, you have all of that now in the box.
Yeah.
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 All right.
Yeah, and then the last thing that I've been mostly playing, I've been going through Majora very under the moonlight, which is one of the games that actually get run on Awesome Games Done Quick. But it came out on Switch a little bit before that, and already had downloaded it. So I went through that game. It's a very much a 2D action platformer where you are playing a priestess that's trying to figure out why everything has gone haywire in that world. It's made with very beautiful 2D art. And basically, you have to travel from destination to destination, very much a Metroidvania style. Collect items and do specific tasks to get the job done. Yeah, it has some very fluid combat and rock animations. I've been really much enjoying the game from back end. Um, you can finish it in like 1 or 2 sittings if you're really dedicated to it. But the reason would you go back is like optimize run, see the real ending, know where you need to go, and increase your difficulty, which I'm considering doing because I feel that I got everything out of it, but I just want to play it through one more time.
That's a
Yeah.
good sign, I guess. If you intentionally want to go back and replay it that quickly, sounds like it's got its hooks into you.
Yeah, it's really fun. I know it's a little divisive in some places. Some people don't really like it for how the combat or the enemies represent itself. I think the fluidness is what keeps pulling me in because it just feels very nice to play. Like there are a few frustrating moments in there, and you have to really keep enemy patterns in mind, especially when it comes to bosses. Um, but like everything boss wise they've created and how everything is laid out in the Metroidvania-esque template is really strong.
Sounds good. I'll keep an eye on that, and I think we're gonna have a review of that probably early next week on the site.
Yeah, that sounds like something I'd get into. Like these days, I think I've said this already, but I just like to get a game that's not like too difficult. Just something you could just ease in and play and
Yeah.
finish in 1 or 2 sittings. That's like my ideal game right now.
Yeah. Kind of for me too. Like that's why I liked also Gris so much, because it ended when it ended.
Yeah.
Good.
All right. So jumping back to news here. One quick thing before the main event. One of the Game Freak side games that was revealed a couple years ago and actually went through early access on Steam, Giga Wrecker, is getting a console port. It's getting published by Rising Star Games. It's going to get a physical release on Switch and PS4, and it's coming out very soon.
Mm-hmm. Well, not in North America, because Rising Star Games is sort of ceasing to exist. It's solely folding into Thunderful.
Okay. So
in Europe, it will still be Rising Star Games. In North America, it's sort of folding into Thunderful completely.
And Thunderful is the successor to Image and Form and Zoink Games, right?
No, it's the venture of them, and they basically now own Rising Star Games under that umbrella.
Okay.
It's like indie Voltron forming over here, but I mean, the fact that Giga Record went through like the whole early access process, I think that's going to help it, because I mean, Game Freak, like this sort of feels like the dark spiritual successor to Drilldozer in a way, but
oh yeah, sure,
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, same. Destructive Ideas, same team, pretty much coming from the same team. It's one of their Pokemon side projects.
Yeah.
Between that and Town, I think we're pretty loaded for Game Freak this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're branching out and they're trying new stuff, and I like it. I did not remember seeing or hearing much about Giga Wrecker.
Mm-hmm.
It came out a couple of years ago, but from what I hear and what I saw in the press release, it looked pretty fun. I would give it a try.
Yeah, I mean, Game Freak. I mean, they've had a couple. I like Harmonite more than most people, I think, but between that and Pocket Card Jockey and
I liked Pocket Card Jockey. That was fun.
Yeah, and Tembo the Badass Elephant, which I think is the only game of theirs that has never been on a Nintendo system to this point, or at least in modern times.
I believe that's the case. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, this is not the last thing you'll likely hear Thunderful in the very near future.
How many indie companies have they bought in the last 24 hours, I wonder?
I mean, they still have games coming of Zoink and Image and Form. Outside of that, they're still working on a bunch of stuff for their own publishing for Thunderful, which they're still going to try and publish Honeymoon, which is a dual stick shooter on Switch. It's already out on Xbox and PlayStation 4. And then Rising Star is still doing their current lineup. They just released the third game in that Holy Potatoes trilogy.
Yeah. And
they're still going through decay of Legos and logos and that sort of stuff. So there's still a bunch of stuff coming this year. So they're going strong.
Yeah.
Cherry Goblin in the chat asking thoughts on Kingdom Hearts 3 secret ending patch. Oh, you mean the one that's coming out in 2027? With the game?
Like in seriously, as somebody who really likes Kingdom Hearts, I totally understand where they're coming from. Because especially with 0.2, which is the sort of prequel to now 3 basically. And like showing off the last story details before the big one comes out. It was online like a day after that thing dropped. Like even quicker, because that 0.2 was like 2 to 3 hours. So it dropped immediately quickly, like the last final ending. So I feel that they're doing right by their fans to not showcase what nobody should know until that certain point. The only thing I'm thinking is that game has been leaked and some people have been uploading footage. So even if you do that, there's a good chance that that specific person will just go to download a patch on day one and still do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although, I mean, didn't they put out a timeline for it saying basically that it wouldn't be out until like a week after the game came out?
I think
Actually,
it's
yes,
a
I
number
remember.
of days, yeah.
I think it's like a few days after. I think they're going to put in a mode that will tell the entire story of Kingdom Hearts, which I'm going to need.
Mhm.
And then I think there's a ending that will be uploaded that's for like everybody, whoever clears the game. And then
Well,
there's
there's a regular ending, and the secret ending is only it applies once again if you do the certain conditions that's in every game. Yeah.
and the last one will be the secret ending that you have to meet certain conditions to see.
Yeah. I'm honestly shocked they didn't Half-Life 2 that game when it leaked. Like hold it back for another year. Just to try and screw people over. But
do you really think Nomura wants to keep dragging this along for another year?
Yeah,
you're
I'm
talking about Nomura.
Well, I mean, I honestly think this is the only thing keeping him at Square Enix at this point, and he may get. I don't know if he might get bounced after this.
I mean, he's still working in Final Fantasy VII.
Final Fantasy VII remake,
which is coming out in like 2030 at this point.
I mean, knowing his schedule, obviously.
I think once this is out, I think we're finally going to get more information on that. I don't know for sure, but I think that's like the last big Square Enix project that's been delayed 5 million times.
Yeah.
So I think we're finally going to get info on that soon, which I'm looking forward to. I liked Final Fantasy VII.
What is soon? You mean a year or something?
Maybe in
It's very
June.
ambiguous.
Yeah.
Maybe June.
Maybe June 2020. I have. Yeah. And I can confess I did ask today when registration for E3 would be opening, because I wanted to go in 2016 before Nintendo said, by the way, we're showing one game. So now that Sony won't be there, Nintendo will probably have like twice the booth space. Maybe my claustrophobia won't kick
in. We'll see about that. Likely smaller companies will just take that space, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
Because the behind the back of the PlayStation area last year were just a bunch of meeting rooms, and just gonna fill with more meeting rooms just there.
Well, I can dream, can't I?
You can.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Now for the biggest news of the week here. Well, there's two parts to this. One part is that Mortal Kombat 11 might be getting delayed on Switch. We know it's already, according to Australian distributors, it is being delayed. But that hasn't come through to the rest of the world yet.
Yeah.
And I believe the phrasing that they were using for Mortal Kombat was that it would start releasing on April 23rd, which would presumably be the PS4, Xbox One versions. Yeah. But that could also refer to the PC version.
Possible.
Well, I mean, given the history of NetherRealm on PC, it's probable.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Because they've said that things like DLC would be coming later to PC already as well. But whether that includes the Switch, that'll be interesting to see. But the other story is that they had their big reveal event for the game yesterday.
Yeah.
And they revealed some of the voice cast for it. There's rumors going around that Kevin Sorbo, who you might know from Hercules, the late 90s syndicated show, is going to play some role in this game. But they did announce who's going to be portraying the role of Sonya Blade. And how fortuitous that I have Bryan and Daan on the show for this.
Yeah.
It's former UFC Women's Champion, current WWE Raw Women's Champion, Ronda Rousey. Yeah. And Ronda's got some... She's had some controversial statements in the past, shall we say.
Yeah, she has. I know at one point, I guess we're going to talk about it, so I'll bring it up. At one point, I guess she saw some videos somewhere about Sandy Hook and had some ideas, and people prevented her on it, and soon enough she stopped tweeting for a while, and I think her management's now doing her tweets. Yeah, that's been brought up many times, not just regarding this, but also when she came over to WWE last year. And I don't know what to say about it. Yeah, I mean it's warped. But...
Yeah, I mean, because the role of Sonya Blade in the last Mortal Kombat game was played by Trisha Helfer, who you might know from Battlestar Galactica. Is like, did her rates go way up that they went to Ronda Rousey for this?
I mean, she never made it a secret that she really liked Sonya Blade.
Yeah,
she's a big video game fan.
Yeah,
and if they want to get some name recognition, I mean, she's a big star in MMA and WWE. She's one of the top female wrestlers in the company.
She's mostly responsible for WWE getting a $1 billion TV rights deal from Fox last year.
It's way more than $1 billion. I think it's $2 billion for the Fox deal, and I think there's a few
the Fox deal is $2 billion. Yeah,
and a few more for USA, they gave a bunch of money to keep Raw on the USA network.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, WWE has a bunch of money now, and she was one of the big factors.
By the way, I don't want to completely turn this into a wrestling discussion because we could sit here for another hour, and I know that me and Brian could geek about this stuff easily. I do think it is interesting, that whole entire Fox deal, considering they want it to be more like a bit more, have a serious tone, basically.
Like a more sporting,
they want more athletic. Kind of presentation.
So my thing is, does that mean that Ronda Rousey might go to SmackDown by the end of this year?
I think it's possible.
I think that, like, if you're paying $2 billion for WWE, you're getting all of it.
Yeah.
So, like, there may not be a difference between Raw and SmackDown by the time the Fox deal starts.
Yeah, I totally see that. I can see them moving a lot of people.
I mean, wasn't the rumor that Fox definitely wanted to keep the brand split?
I'm not sure about that. I think that's more of a WWE. It's up to WWE. I can see them dropping the brand split. I mean, they can probably do whatever they want at this point. It doesn't matter. But they have all the talent in the world now. So, I mean, they can call up people. They can do a bunch of things to keep things interesting.
I mean, to be fair, SmackDown is a better show than Raw anyway.
It's 2 hours. Like, that's why
I mean, it doesn't really matter the time. Like, the match quality and what they're doing on that show is just 10 times better than Raw at the moment.
Yeah,
because Vince doesn't really Raw is Vince's baby, whereas SmackDown has a little more freedom.
He's at both shows, though. At the end of the day, everything goes through him.
Yeah. So this week's main event was not very good on SmackDown.
but I mean, Raw. But kind of pulling this back to Mortal Kombat here. Do you think there'll be enough of a backlash from Rousey?
Like in terms of using Ronda Rousey for the comments, or
for the comments, because she's not on, like you mentioned, the stuff about saying the Sandy Hook shooting was, to borrow a term from her current employer, a work, but also some comments she's made about transgender fighters during her MMA career.
This has been, it's been brought up before when she signed with WWE. It's been brought up before, but I mean, if it turns into a big deal, then they'll probably face blowback from that. But I don't know. It could go either way, honestly. The comments are pretty bad. I totally agree with that. But I mean, it depends on what kind of reaction it gets and how big the fallout is.
Yeah, I think generally speaking, like the reaction from the Mortal Kombat fan base, I don't know what it's really been to Ronda, but because admittedly, I don't really follow. I haven't really had an excuse to check the pulse of that in the last 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
But it seems like, if it's anything like I was worried that there'd be a negative reaction to AJ Styles being on the cover of the last WWE game, and most of the negative reaction toward the last WWE game was directed at Ukes. So
Yeah.
because
I mean, you're talking about the WWE game. Obviously, all the commentary was faced towards Ukes.
they have made the same game steadily worse since 2005.
I mean, the last two THQ ones were actually okay. Where it went off the rails is when it went to 2K.
Yeah.
I just stopped playing when they did the reversal system. I hate that system.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. So
I'm over it.
And,
It's
and,
not
I'll, and I believe both of you ended up reviewing 2K18 for NWR at some point.
That's
And
yeah.
It's literally one of the worst ports I've ever seen. What do you agree, Don?
Oh, I agree. Yeah. Yeah.
That's like one of the worst ports. I mean, when you can't even play like a six with 6 people in the ring, that's like really bad. Like the frame rate is so awful. Well, like barely playable.
and so many of the matches in the modern WWE game are going to be centered around 6 people in the ring, like the Elimination Chamber.
Ladder matches, a bunch of stuff.
Royal Rumble.
Yeah, Royal Rumble.
Man, I can't wait for the Royal Rumble. It's my favorite pay-per-view of the year. It's coming so soon.
Oh yeah, next weekend.
Yeah, first NWR Telethon, then the Royal Rumble. Hey, what a weekend!
Oh man, we're gonna miss Takeover because the telethon's gonna be on during it.
Oh well, we can always rewatch it on the WWE Network.
I mean, it's the sole reason why I have a subscription on the WWE Network.
I should probably get my New Japan World up and running, but I not this weekend because I've got a 50-hour RPG to play.
New Beginning is soon. In a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah, and just have to remember to do it at the start of the month so I don't get double billed.
Yeah, that's right. That's weird.
Yeah.
Okay, one more wrestling question, then we'll move on from this. But are they really going to do Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania again?
Yeah, I think the match is Seth Rollins. I'm over it too. Honestly, I am over Brock Lesnar being champion. It's been years. It's the same thing every year. It's not interesting. I'm done with it.
The one way they could kill the possibility of Roman Reigns not being the biggest babyface in the world when he comes back from his cancer treatment is if they put him up against Brock Lesnar again.
I think he'll be a babyface either way. I mean, that's the base. That's like the best way for him to come back being a big babyface. I mean, I'm not obviously. I hope he gets better. I hope he takes time to get back. But once he does get back, he's going to be like the biggest babyface ever.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure he'll come back. I mean, I don't know. I'm hopeful he comes back, and when he does, he'll be a big star.
Yeah, the problem is when you have leukemia for a second time around, it's harder to treat.
It is.
So we don't even if he recovers quickly, we don't know when that will be.
I've seen recent pictures, and he looks good. I mean, but who knows? This is the second time
the battle is also more internally than physically outside. Leukemia is very much a battle on the inside.
Yeah.
So we really don't know. That's the thing.
It's up in the air.
Yeah.
And Cherry Goblin sums it up. Wrestling News Report should be the title of this podcast episode. You know what? Let's do it.
Yay!
All right, and and with that, that'll bring us home here. One last ring of the bell, and we're out of here. So, as mentioned at the top of the show, the NWR Telethon is on next Saturday, January 26th, starting at 11:30 a.m. Eastern for the pregame show, and then 12 o'clock, and we go until the money runs out, or you somehow or if we raise enough money, we go until I have to go to the Eshop and buy Devil's Third, at which point I will openly weep on the stream.
One more thing. I said this during a new episode of the Eshop Action Committee podcast coming out tomorrow, together with Jordan of also NWR. We're doing this now together, the two of us. If $5,000 are reached, I will do a stream with Mario Party 5.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so is that like a meme here, or is it a meme on the internet? And I'm just
The meme is that I hate Mario Party 5. Because together with one, it's the worst Mario Party because almost all the mini games are RNG based.
Oh, that doesn't sound.
I gotta update an article with that. BRB.
Please do that, please. I already mentioned it in the podcast, so go right ahead. I can go back anyway.
Yeah. So, and for those of you who would like to see more of Mario Party 5 stupidity, if you go to patreon.com/NWR, you can sign up there, and there is about a 4-hour podcast. If it's not posted by the time you hear this, it's coming very soon. John,
it's out. It's out.
It is out. Oh, yeah. Perfect. In which we debate all of our Game of the Year picks, which will be hopefully on the site over the next week. And there is several references to Mario Party 5.
Few.
Just to freaking annoy me.
Yeah. I don't know what it was doing in Game of the Year discussion, but anyway.
Yeah.
Some people really like Mario Party 5.
Oh no, they're just doing it to screw with me. Yeah. Because I don't get mad about anything, but Mario Party 5 makes me mad. I actually did a bunch of streams last year where I played it with a few friends, and every gosh darn time I got screwed by RNG. That's not a joke, in all 6 boards. So I hate that game with passion. Very much so. And I like Mario Party, so that tells you a whole lot.
Yeah.
It does.
All right, so yeah, so we now have it on the list on streams Mario Party 5 if for the NWR Telethon for Child's Play raises $5,000. If you'd like to really help out with that, if you make your donation before noon Eastern time on Tuesday, we will get matched up to $2,000 of the donations. So, yeah, with enough money donated, we could get to $5,000 very easily. Done. Be careful what you wish for.
It's okay. It's all for charity.
Yeah, that's the attitude. That's the attitude I'm trying to keep, because it would be really cool if we raised $7,200, but that would also mean I'd have to play Devil's Third.
I mean, you're going to stream Devil's Third. I'm going to stream Mario Party 5. It can get worse from here.
I'm not going to stream it. I think just because I want to keep my humiliation somewhat private. And yes, that was my roommate booing in the background.
Fantastic.
All right. Of course, and also if you're going to patreon.com/NWR, you are supporting the site that supports this show, in addition to helping out with the kids. And finally, the mothership is NintendoWorldReport.com. We have new reviews, news. We're getting more news videos up here on this year YouTube channel, youtube.com/NWRTV.
I should be penning 2 reviews this weekend for the site. One of them being Hive Jump, which came out ages ago on Wii U, but now out on Switch.
Yeah, and now people will actually have a chance to play it.
Yes. And then the Atelier Trilogy Pack, which I'm now on the final game.
I'm kind of shocked we didn't give that one to James, but I don't think he had the Switch card space for it.
I don't think he even wanted to touch them. Like, I like those games, but
a trilogy of them seems like a bit much to play at once.
Yeah, even that is way too much.
Yeah, and I hope to be writing my Tales of Vesperia remaster review this weekend as well.
And I don't have any reviews right now. I need to pick up a review and get into something on the Switch. I've been playing PS4 lately, so I'm going to dump that and get back on the Switch.
Word.
If I don't play Switch or 3DS, it's mostly been Xbox One for me.
I like using my Xbox One because it opens up an HDMI port so I can putting more stuff on my TV. That's like why I use it.
Yeah, I mean, I mostly use it for Game Pass because Game Pass has damn good offerings, and then yeah, I mostly play Forza Horizon 4.
It had Slime Rancher. I really like Slime Rancher.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was an easy game to play and just get into and relax, and that's what I like.
But recently, they just put up all the older Life is Strange episodes and Celeste on Xbox Gold, so I've been using my Xbox a lot.
Oh, I need to play Celeste. I need to play Celeste. Yeah,
It's currently now free in Xbox One if you have Gold.
Yep, I do. So I'm going to have to download it and play it.
Yeah. Very much. All right.
All right. Thank you very much for watching, everybody, and thank you for listening. We will see you. We will see you at least once next week, possibly twice.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Later.